All right, let's talk about a huge topic, financial freedom. What does it actually take to get there? Well, I've got good news. It might be a lot simpler than you think. See, it's not about some lucky break or a stock market miracle. Nope. It's all about building powerful, consistent habits. So let's dive into the small steps that can lead to some massive results.
Yeah, think of it this way. Gaining financial freedom isn't like trying to make one giant, impossible leap across a canyon. It's more like building a bridge, one solid piece at a time. Each habit we're going to talk about today is a building block, and when you start putting them all together, you create a foundation that is absolutely rock solid.
But hang on, before we start building that bridge, we have to know where we're going, right? We throw this term financial freedom around all the time, but what does it really truly mean? I mean, it's a bit personal for everyone, but let's lock in on a clear definition for our journey today.
And there you have it. At its core, it's really about having the resources to live the life you actually want, without that constant knot of stress in your stomach about money. You know, maybe for you that's retiring early, or starting a passion project, or just having a safety net so strong that nothing can shake it. Let's keep this definition right here as our North Star.
Okay, first things first. Every strong building needs a solid foundation. So we're kicking things off with a set of habits that are all about one thing, taking control of your finances, right here, right now. These are the absolute must-have essentials.
So, our foundation rests on these three pillars: setting super specific goals, creating a budget that you can actually stick to, and making the conscious choice to live below your means. Let's break each one down.
You know, a vague goal like I want to be rich isn't really a goal at all. It's just a wish. A real goal has details. So instead of I want to buy a house, it's I am going to save $40,000 for a down payment in the next 3 years. Creating these concrete little mileposts is what turns a fuzzy dream into a plan you can actually follow. Okay, the word budget, I know, it can feel overwhelming, but the 50-30-20 rule is such a great place to start because it's so simple. It gives you a clear framework. 50% of your take-home pay goes to your absolute needs. 30% is for your wants, the fun stuff. And that last crucial 20%, that's for your future self. That's your savings and your debt repayment. Now, this habit, this is a total game changer. Living below your means isn't about feeling deprived. It's about being intentional. It's about consciously asking, is this a need or is this a want? Because that little gap you create between what you earn and what you spend, that is the magic space where wealth is actually built. Okay, foundation is poured. It's solid. Now it's time to build. It's time to play some offense. These next habits are all about actively growing your money and making it start working for you instead of the other way around.
So, what's our offensive game plan? It's got 3 core plays. We're going to get rid of that wealth-destroying debt, we're going to put our savings on autopilot, and we're going to get our money into the market so it can start growing.
This is so important to understand. Not all debt is the same. High-interest credit card debt, that stuff is toxic. It's like an anchor dragging your financial ship down. Paying that off has to be priority number 1. But then you've got lower interest debt, like a mortgage. That can actually be a tool, a form of leverage that helps you build wealth over time. You've probably heard this phrase before, but it is one of the most powerful financial concepts, period. What it means is, before you pay a single bill, before you buy groceries, you take a piece of your income and set it aside for your future. And the easiest way to do this? Just automate it. Set up a transfer for the day your paycheck hits. I promise you won't even miss it.
Listen, you do not need to be a Wall Street genius to start investing. The single most important ingredient for success isn't picking the perfect stock, it's time. Because of the magic of compound interest, where your earnings start making their own earnings, even small, consistent investments can grow into something massive. The best time to start was yesterday, the second best time is right now.
So you've built that foundation, and you're actively growing your wealth. That is fantastic. But a great offense is useless without a solid defense, right? So now we've got to protect everything that you've worked so hard for. Our defensive lineup is made of 3 key habits: keeping a very close eye on your credit score, taking care of your physical stuff like your car and home, and, this is one we often forget, taking care of yourself, because your health is your greatest asset. Just think of your credit score as your financial report card. It has a huge impact on your wallet. A great score can literally save you thousands of dollars in lower interest on a car loan or a mortgage. It can even lower your insurance bills. The takeaway here is so simple. Get your free annual reports from those 3 big agencies: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion.
check them for errors, and know where you stand.
You know, this might seem like a small thing, but it adds up in a big way. A $50 oil change is way cheaper than a $5,000 new engine, right? A can of paint is cheaper than replacing rotten wood. Properly maintaining your stuff isn't an expense. It's an investment that stops much bigger costs from showing up down the road.
All right, finally, let's talk about the long game. Because financial freedom isn't some destination where you just set it and forget it. The rule is always changing, and your strategy needs to be able to adapt. These last habits are all about staying smart for the long haul.
And our final 3 habits boil down to this: being a lifelong learner about your money, not being afraid to negotiate, and knowing when it's time to call in a professional for some help.
Staying on top of things like changes in tax law or shifts in the market helps you make smart little adjustments to your plan. And please do not forget the power of negotiation. Whether you're dealing with a service provider or a big purchase, just asking for a better price can often save you money. It is such an underrated skill.
Look, you don't have to do this all on your own. You see a doctor for your health, right? Well, a good financial advisor can be that same invaluable partner for your wealth. They can offer an objective point of view and help you navigate those bigger, more complex decisions as your finances grow.
So, to bring it all home, remember that this is a marathon, not a sprint. It's all built on small, consistent habits. And structure your journey in those 3 phases. Build your foundation, go on offense to grow your wealth, and then play strong defense to protect it. But you know what the most important part is? Just starting.
And that brings us to the final and honestly the most important question. Don't get overwhelmed and try to do all 12 of these at once. Just look at this list and pick one, just one. Which single habit can you commit to starting today, right now, to begin your journey toward financial freedom?